Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78, once again with another Tales from the Vargas Vault. Continuing my look at the Superman collection that I have in my vault. This is box 4 of the main Superman series collection. Another stuffed box, but like I said, I wanted to share my Superman collection, so hope you guys are liking these videos. And I only have one more box to go, so yeah, let's start off. I actually made a mistake last video. I said that the last issue that I showcased on that box was the conclusion of the Worlds at War crossover. But yeah, I messed up. it actually continued for a couple of more issues. This is Adventure of Superman 595, which has the reveal that Brainiac 13 made a deal with Lex Luthor to basically absorb the power of Imperiex. And this is the actual conclusion. Action Comics 782. This is the issue where Superman dives into the sun, gets supercharged, and takes the fight to Imperiex and Brainiac 13, sending both of them back in time to the start of the universe, causing the Big Bang and destroying them both, but making some alterations to the timeline. Then this is the epilogue issue. Our Worlds at War, World's Finest #1, dealing with a lot of things: the destruction of that city in the U.S., the death of Queen Hippolyta, the mother of Wonder Woman. A lot of big things happen here. So this is the epilogue issue, and Superman decided to wear a different costume. This is Superman 174. So he leaves his brighter costume in exchange for a more darker toned one, because he thinks that the Kents are dead, but I think they actually got amnesia, and or Jonathan Kent got amnesia and Martha Kent was lost. I don't remember. But yeah, he decides to wear a blacker costume. Superman Adventure Superman 596 has it. So it's a little darker tone for the costume, and instead of having yellow, he has black. It's basically like a mourning suit for everyone that died in Our Worlds at War. And this was another cool crossover that DC did. This was Joker Last Laugh. The Joker was in a maximum security prison, and he was going for a routine diagnostic, and they found out that he's dying of, I think it was cancer. So the Joker's like depressed for a while, and then he's like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take as many people out with me. So he escapes. He turns all the villains that were in that prison into Joker versions of himself. You know, they had the white skin and the green lips and the red lips and the green hair, but they were insane and crazy. And the toxin that the Joker used was going to kill everyone, so he was just wreaking havoc. And one of the people he infused with his Joker toxin was a power-up Doomsday, which they called Doomsday Rex. Because Imperiex reduced him to bones, he evolved to the point where he was even more powerful. But he also evolved to the point where he had a conscience, and he was intelligent now. So he didn't want, when he saw that Superman was kicking his butt, he was like, oh, I don't want to die. So they kind of wussed out Doomsday here, but still, this was the anniversary, the 100th issue anniversary of the death of Superman. So yeah, that was a cool issue nonetheless, and the crossover was so cool. And then we have Adventure Superman 597, continuing the Last Laugh crossover, where he infects President Luthor. Good crossover. You have a chance to find that one, I definitely recommend it. That one was pretty cool. Superman 176. Don't remember what happens in that one. Then Adventures of Superman 598. Then we have Superman. What issue is this? 177. Where they introduce a new Toyman that lived in Japan, and he would use these giant Japanese-looking robots. He would play a big role in Superman Batman. If you haven't read that series, watch the Superman Batman Public Enemies animated movie. You'll know who that guy is. And Adventures of Superman 599. Mike Wieringo was doing the writing, the artwork for this book. And I was always a big fan of Mike Wieringo's artwork. And we have Superman 178. As you might have noticed, I'm missing a lot of Action Comics. For a time, I just picked up Superman and Adventures of Superman because I couldn't afford another book. So I'm trying to track down the older Action Comics. This is Adventures of Superman 600. Supersize anniversary issue with Casey Wieringo and Marston Jr. and a whole bunch of little backup stories that were cool. Then we have Superman 179, continuing the Jeb Loeb, Ed McGuinness run on their book, which was pretty cool. Adventures of Superman 601, which showcases a new Persuader, who I think was a villain in the Legion of Superheroes. Then we have Action Comics 788, where Superman was fighting this Japanese assassin that could phase through things, and this other guy that was a powerhouse. It had something to do with Clark Kent, but I don't remember that much. This one was really cool. This is Superman 180, and it had Superman and I think Lois Lane traveling to Transylvania, and they meet up with Dracula. The thing I like about Jeb Loeb's run is that anything could happen. But Ed McGuinness didn't do this book. It was done by Ian Churchill. So yeah, Jeb Loeb, when he was writing Superman and Superman Batman, did some really good stories. Adventures of Superman 602 continues the Persuaders little arc. And we have Action 789, which has a story between Krypto and I don't remember his name, but when Superman was poisoned by kryptonite, General Zod got a piece of that poisoned kryptonite, and it evolved into this kryptonite monster whose name I don't remember. So yeah, General Zod, the Russian General Zod, had a whole bunch of people under him. Then this is Superman 181 with Bizarro #1. If I remember correctly, I think this is the issue where they explain how it is that Bizarro and Ignition and Scorch got out of the Emperor Joker universe and into the regular DC universe. And we have Adventures of Superman 603. This is a really weird little story that has Superman fighting against the crime syndicate. I think Ultraman and Superwoman had a kid, and he was wreaking havoc, and it turns out that he was Brainiac of the Injustice world. I don't remember. Memory's not as good as it used to be. This is Superman 182, where he faces off against Solomon Grundy. And we have Adventures of Superman 604, which has Superman versus Ultraman. Then Action Comics 791, The Shame of Smallville. In Smallville, the kids used to pick on this girl, and Clark Kent takes her out to the prom and sees that she's a nice person, and then through an accident she ends up dying. So Superman always kind of regretted that. They also did that once where Superman was in a New Year's party, and he, Lana Lang, and another friend were in a car accident. And we have Superman 183, where they fire Clark Kent, which was just a ruse because Clark Kent was working on bringing down President Luthor. And we have Adventures of Superman 605, continuing the baby Brainiac and the Injustice gang. And we have Superman 792. This was a good issue. Superman's trying to locate a missing person, a guy that sold newspapers, and he would interact with him and talk with him, and yeah, this was a really good issue. If you can find it, I'd recommend that one. And we have Superman 184, which has a return to Krypton. tying up loose ends of the whole Krypton thing that happened when they went back to it the first time. This is Adventures of Superman 606. Missing the rest of the books in that series. And we have Superman 185, which has Jeff Johns doing a very brief run on the book. He didn't write that many issues of Superman. Superman 607 has Superman fighting some monsters. I don't remember what happens in that one either. And we have Superman 186. There's one issue of Action Comics that I haven't been able to track down, and the cover says, "What's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way?" which has the Elite, which is this extreme team of superheroes that don't believe in Superman's values, and they have a big fight. Well, one of those guys, this British mind control guy, got really upset with Superman, and he devised this whole plan to crush Superman. So he got together, or mind controlled, a whole bunch of Superman's villains, and they went after him and his loved ones and Metropolis, and this is that crossover series called Ending Battle, starring Superman 186. Continued in Adventures of Superman 608, The Atomic Skull. Continued in Superman 187. Adventures of Superman 609. And concluded in Action Comics 796. So, by the end of this series, he sees that Superman, despite everything that he threw at him, Superman did not give up. So that guy, I don't remember, I think his last name was Black, figures out that he can't stop Superman, that his moral compass and values are too strong. But he does admit defeat. He goes to President Luthor, because Luthor, by this time, since he was the president and had access to a whole bunch of military resources, was figuring out that Superman is Clark Kent. So this black guy goes to him, erases Lex Luthor's memory of that, and then kills himself. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we have Superman 188. Don't really remember what happens in most of these issues. Adventures 610. Another little crossover. It started in Superman 189. Alana Lang goes missing and Superman goes to find her. And Adventures of Superman 611. And it concludes in Action 798. And we have Superman the 10-Cent Adventure. This was a really cool thing that DC did. They did one for Batman 2 where they released this book and it only cost 10 cents. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this starts McDaniel's run on Superman. I've heard a lot of people didn't like this run. They either didn't like the artwork or didn't like the writing of Stephen T. Siegel. Well, I liked this run. I thought it was cool. And McDaniel's artwork doesn't bother me. So yeah, I like that one too. Adventures of Superman 612. This was another really good issue. Action Comics 799. Superman was fighting this powered monkey that was running havoc. But it turns out that the monkey was being controlled by Hector Hammond, who in turn was being tortured by this doctor whose wife Hector Hammond killed. So this was a really, really good issue. If you have a chance to read it, I'd recommend it. Then we have Superman 190, Superman fighting against a robot. And we have Adventures of Superman 613. And we have the double-sized anniversary issue of Action Comics, issue 800. With another interpretation of the classic Action Comics #1. Another anniversary issue had a story that was concluding or started, I think. And a lot of little mini stories, which were also cool. Then we have one more one shot. This is Superman versus Darkseid. And in this one, Superman is trying to save John Henry Irons, who's trapped by Darkseid, and Superman fights him, and yeah, really, really cool. If you want to see a good Superman versus Darkseid brawl, track down this one. That one was pretty cool. Then we have Adventures of Superman 614, where Superman finds himself in a town full of superheroes. Then we have Superman 191, which has Superman going through a bizarre dimensional time warp. Then we have Adventures 615, which has Superman fighting against these things that would suck the life out of you and the emotions and so on. And we have Superman 192, which introduces a Supergirl from the future, who claims to be the daughter of Superman. And we have Adventures of Superman 616. I really like these covers. They look really cool. Then we have Superman 193, where they travel to the future and it gets destroyed. Then we have Adventures 617, which introduces the Mxyzptlk twins. Mxyzptlk decided it was going to be funny if to split into two personalities, one female, one male, and both of these guys cause havoc on Superman, and they also create the Parasite twins, and they were also responsible for the Persuader. This is Action Comics 804. The Russian General Zod conquers the Earth and bathes everything in red sunlight. He also injects this kind of like virus into the superhero, so Superman has to team up with some villains that were stuck on the moon, and with Lex Luthor to try to stop General Zod, who has conquered everything using the guise of Superman. And we have Superman 194. One of Lex Luthor's bodyguards wants to rat him out for all the crimes he's done, and he sends a hit squad against her before she can testify. And we have Adventures 618, continuing the Mxyzptlk twins storyline. Then we have Superman 195, which still has the whole thing with Supergirl from the future. Action Comics 805 has the conclusion of the General Zod storyline. And we have Adventures 619. These covers were really cool. And we have Superman 196. And we have Adventures 520. Superman 197, and Superman's being infected by this disease that's killing him. And we have Action 807, which has a story with the with all the different Supergirls, the Supergirl from the future, the niece of John Henry Irons, and a magician girl that I forget who she was. And we have Superman 621, where he goes to this nursery and a lot of the kids are being mutated into kids. I don't remember what was the cause of that. Then we have Superman 198, where Superman's succumbing to that virus that he contracted, and Supergirl from the future has to save him. Then we have 622. Yeah, I think I remember. The one with the bug kids was because of these two things that were trying to have kids, so they couldn't have kids, so they were genetically altering kids in Earth. And Superman, makes them meet up and I try on their own because their race kind of forgot how to have kids. Really weird. Superman 199 has Superman inside a suit to try to save himself, or in the future. against Brainiac 13. Then we have Adventures of Superman 623. Another really cool cover there. And we have the 200th issue of Superman, where Supergirl from the future and Superman take the last fight to Brainiac 13. And, Superman takes Brainiac somewhere, and he gets lost in space, which leads to... Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay, didn't that. Leads to Action Comics 811, where Superman is not on Earth. He disappears, and the Brainiac 13 virus, since Brainiac is now dead, is starting to collapse upon itself. And Mr. Majestic in Adventures 624 gets rid of the Brainiac 13 virus, stabilizes Metropolis, and saves the world, but leaving the question, what happened to Superman? And Superman 201 has more adventures of Mr. Majestic, with another tribute to Action Number 1. Mr. Majestic goes up against the Superman family. And where Superman ended up was in Kandor. They did another change to Kandor, where it appears that some aliens were coexisting with surviving Kryptonians. And Superman lost his memory. He assumed that he was back in Krypton in Action 812. This is a second printing that has a sketch cover variant by Michael Turner. And we have Adventures of Superman 625, where Superman is realizing that the Kryptonians are destroying the aliens, and he has to put a stop to it. Superman 202, it's revealed that this alien chick was controlling Superman's mind, so that whenever someone said Kandor, he understood Krypton, which is why he believed he was in Krypton. But because she wanted to escape Kandor, and she does in issue 813. I don't remember what happened to her. I don't think I read the issue, but the story continues in Adventure of Superman 626, and concludes in Superman 203, where the alien chick escapes Kandor, but so does this guy, and this guy develops a really bad case of I don't know, earth rash or something, because he's enveloped in this arbor. I know what happens to him because he reappeared on another comic book down the line, but I don't know what happened to her. And we have Adventures of Superman 627, written by Gret Rucka. Then we have Action Comics issue 814, written by Chuck Austin. A lot of people didn't like Chuck Austin's run in Uncanny X-Men, but I haven't heard anyone talk badly about his run on Action Comics. So then this is Superman 204, which starts off the 12-issue series by Brian Azzarello and Jim Lee. Jim Lee, fresh from his work on Batman Hush, and the artwork by Jim Lee on this was pretty cool. The storyline kind of lost me. But yeah, the artwork was pretty cool. And we have Adventures of Superman 628, guest starring Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. Superman 205, great looking cover. Love this cover. I actually have a poster of that. Action Comics 816, which has Gog from the Kingdom Come storyline going back in time and trying to kill Superman. And he teams up with the intelligent Doomsday. And we have Adventures of Superman 629. Great looking cover there. Superman 206. Continuing the Brian Azzarello story. Adventure 630. Great cover there. Superman 207. What's been happening... what was happening in this is that a lot of people were disappearing, and everyone was thinking it was the Rapture and so on. But, everyone was disappearing, and Superman was having a crisis of faith because a lot of his Lois Lane and a lot of the people he knew were also gone. Adventure Superman 631 has Lois Lane in the on the front line of a war and she gets shot. But because Superman's dealing with his own stuff, he's not there to rescue her. Then we have Superman 608. Great looking cover with Superman and the Justice League. Love this cover. And we have Superman 632, where he finally reaches Lois Lane and he's really mad. Superman 209. Adventures of Superman 633, and this is what I was talking about, the Parasite twins. This girl and this boy turn into new parasites. We have Superman 210, really good cover with Wonder Woman there. Then we have Adventures 634. With Mixelplick. Superman 211. Adventures 635. Again with the parasites. Superman 1212. And what was happening here is that all the missing people ended up in the negative zone. The Phantom Zone. And they were under the rule of another Zod that what lived in the Phantom Zone. And so yeah, Superman travels to the Phantom Zone and he wants to put a stop to that General Zod. Adventures of Superman 636. And this is the Zod guy I was talking about. Superman 213. Adventures of Superman 637. Superman 214. Action Comics 824, and this is where Superman fights the Prius guy that was also working with Gog and Doomsday. And Superman 638 features Mixelpick. Superman 215, I think this is the conclusion to that. The Brian Acelero, Jim Lee run. Yeah. This one was cool. This is Action Comics issue 826, which showcases a team-up between Superman and Captain Marvel, or now called Shazam, written by Chuck Winnick, art by Ian Churchill. I really like this crossover, because it also featured Eclipso. This is Adventure 636, where Superman is eclipsed by Eclipso. And then we have Superman 216, which also, if you like this, I would recommend the Superman Shazam First Thunder miniseries that came out. It showcases the first meeting between Superman and Shazam. But that one was pretty cool. Then we get into Infinite Crisis crossovers. This is Superman 217 that ties into the OMAC miniseries. Then we have Adventures 640, where Superman is fighting Ruin, because this was this guy that had the suit of armor, and he was tormenting Superman and all his family, and he knew how to stop Superman. Turns out that Emil Hamilton, Superman's longtime scientific genius buddy, was exposed to so many things throughout the years that he went crazy. He went crazy and saw Superman as a threat, so that's why he gunned after him. That was interesting, what they did with Emil Hamilton, a long-running Superman supporting character. They would turn him evil like that. Then we have Superman 218. Action Comics issue 828. This is with Gail Simone and John Byrne. Another OMAC appearance as Adventure 641. Now this is a big event that happened before Infinite Crisis. Maxwell Lord took control over Superman, and he was making him kill people. Well, not kill people, but really hurt people. And Superman just saw visions of everything. He thought he was fighting Brainiac, or in Superman Superman 219, he was fighting Brainiac. And then on Action 829, he was fighting Darkseid. and in Superman 642 he was finding Ruin, but again he was being controlled by Maxwell Lord, and he fights against Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman can't stop him, and Maxwell Lord is like, the only way you're gonna free Superman is if you kill me, and Wonder Woman snaps his neck. So yeah, this crossover had big implications for the DC universe later on. So yeah, then we have Superman 220, which features the return of the Eradicator. Action Comics 830. Adventures of Superman 643, which has the aftermath of what happened with Superman and Wonder Woman and her killing Maxwell Lord. And Superman beat up Batman because Maxwell Lord controlled him to do so. Yeah. Then we have Superman 221, which has a Villains United tie-in with Bizarro and Dr. Zoom. Continues in Action 831, where Black Adam makes an appearance. We have Superman 644. That during Identity Crisis, it was revealed that Satana messed with the memories of Dr. Light and Batman, and Superman's kind of like, I know what you did. Then we have Superman 222 that features a robot that thinks he's Superman. Then we have an Infinite Crisis crossover, issue 645. Another crossover with the Spectre going on a rampage, trying to destroy all magic and so on in Actions 832, and he goes after Lord Satanus, and apparently that's the end of Lord Satanus in the Superman books. Then we have Superman 223, Supergirl goes off with Donna Troy to try to save the Earth from a impending universe crisis, which is Infinite Crisis. Then we have Superman 646, which appears to be the death of Mr. Mxyzptlk. Mr. Mxyzptlk was going through some power issues, and he was still trying to help Superman against Ruin, and he sacrifices himself to save him. And I haven't seen Mr. Mxyzptlk again since this book. And he's not in the New 52, so I guess he was blinked out of existence. He was a clown, a joke of a villain, but still, I don't know, it seems kind of weird to haven't brought him back. This is Action 833. Superman's dealing with this witch that is from fairy tales. 224 as another Infinite Crisis crossover. 647 concludes the Ruin storyline. Then we have Superman 225. Adventure 648. And we have Action 635, which features they brought back Livewire from the Livewire was a villain in the Superman animated series, so they brought her into the main DC comic book universe, much like they did with Harley Quinn. So yeah, this is her first comic book appearance. Then we have Superman 226, which showcases in Infinite Crisis the Golden Age Superman came back. So these issues deal with that. They look at the lives of Superman from the Golden Age and Superman from the Supermans that right now. I think this is the last issue of Superman. And we have Action Comics 836, continuing that, showcases how Superman from the Golden Age married Lois Lane. And then we have the very last issue of Adventures of Superman 649, which showcases how Superboy, Prime, Alexander Luthor, Golden Age Superman, and Lois Lane went to their exile after Crisis of Infinite Worlds. This is the last issue of Adventures of Superman. But what they did is that they canceled Superman and they renamed Adventures of Superman. So Adventures of Superman became just Superman. So this is after Infinite Crisis, and it's 1 year later, and Superman's powerless, and he's living the life he always wanted as a news reporter. But things are happening, and he has to get back into the game. So they canceled Adventures, and they only left Superman and Action Comics, which is the I only bought Action Comics here and there, and this is issue 837, continuing the up and away. Superman 651, Lex Luthor gets a hold of Krypton technology. And Superman decides that he has to get back in the game. And it turns out that he lost his powers because he willed himself to lose his powers. Okay, Action 838. Superman 652. Superman dealing with the new Superman Revenge Squad. Action Comics 839. Superman 853 has Superman fighting Lex Luthor in this Kryptonian crystal armor. And this is something I didn't like so much about this because after he became president, Lex Luthor was outed. But then he's cleared his name in 52, the huge Maxi Series 52. He cleared his name, blamed Alexander Luthor for everything. And then he decides to go back to being a villain and again sacrifices everything that he fixed. So after this crossover, he went back to being a crazy scientific villain, which I didn't like. I still like corporate Luthor a lot better than underground villain Luthor. But the whole thing concludes in Action Comics 840. Superman's back to full strength, and he stops Lex Luthor. So yeah, that was box 4 of my main Superman collection. I only have one more box to go, so stay tuned for that. And like always, please leave a comment saying what you think of the Superman books, what stories you like, what stories you didn't like. I know I'm missing a lot of Action Comics books, and some really big ones in Action Comics. But yeah, this is the collection so far. Until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, thanking you and signing off.